Aloha, friends and family. A lot going on in the world. Let's talk about how do we know that there's things like election fraud. How do we know that there's election fraud? Do you think that people really voted in dictators? What do I mean by that? Well, did anybody really vote in Biden, who acts like a dictator? Did anybody really vote in Justin Trudeau, who acts like a dictator? Where do these people come from? They come from the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum gets together in Davos and they decide what... I don't know how to make that stay on. They decide what the world needs. They decide you're going to own nothing and be happy. And then they come up with their catchphrases that they get the media to brainwash NPCs with so that they repeat it everywhere they go in comments and everywhere else. Build back better. The Green New Deal. Climate change. The future we want. Okay, so you can see a coordinated conspiracy. This is no theory. You can prove all this. All right, so they put their dictators in place, and then these dictators push these agendas. And then if you simply peacefully protest to say, hey, we want to be free, we don't want to be under you people's thumb, you're a terrorist. You're a misogynist. You're a this, that, and the other, a racist. But when BLM was out there burning everything down and creating true terror, well, the dictator Justin Trudeau came out and said, well, we stand with the people and their right to protest. So as long as it's their goon squads going out there tearing everything up and creating true terror, obvious terror, provable terror, blatant terror, well, they stand with that. That's their right. Remember Nancy Pelosi saying, I don't like statues. I don't like statues. You look like a statue, so you probably don't like yourself. Freaking swollen up, or shrunken, I should say, shriveled up. Drunk, inside traitor. So, you got all these NPCs that just want to hate Trump because they listen to that TV, and that TV has ruined people's minds, just destroyed people's minds. That they literally, all they do is project. I said that in the last video, but it's just so obvious that these people just project what they do onto other people. Trudeau wants to go attack peaceful protesters. But when the real terrorists were out there, he was so happy to side with them. And so were all the Democrats and the lefties in our country. It's a mostly peaceful protest as the frickin' business behind him's burning to the ground and people are running like crazy with stolen shit all over the place. And if anybody tries to defend themselves against that, like Kyle Rittenhouse, oh, he's a terrorist. He's terrible. How dare anybody shoot one of our precious goons that we're paying to be out there doing this stuff? Because we've got to push the Build Back Better narrative from the mighty, mighty Klaus Schwab, who talks like he's got his dentures in backwards. So this is obviously orchestrated, very easy to find out. Just watch the news, you hear them with their catchphrases all the time. The Green New Deal, Build Back Better. And wouldn't cover anything of the truly peaceful protests going on. Won't say a damn word about the biggest scandal in world history in the last 100 years or more, with the Durham report exposing how they're all connected. This whole cult is connected. And I'm shocked that people still can't see it, still can't acknowledge it. I'm sure all of you can, but go into the comments on YouTube and it's just NPCs everywhere, like mindless goons repeating exactly what the fake news has said. And if the fake news says it, it must be real news. And in a way, it's kind of good, I guess, maybe, because they're clueless to what's going on 3 veils deep. See, they haven't even cracked the first veil. Well, guess what? There's about 3 or 4 veils to crack before you really get to the truth. And very few people, even awake people, crack all the veils to go all the way back to find out what's really, really going on. And you have to be divinely guided to intel. Or you have to be getting intel from somewhere to even, know that this is a military operation that's been going on for a while now. And that Durham is the spearhead of what's coming. Tomorrow is a huge day. The QFS. I think the QFS is already online, but it's going to be activated tomorrow. 2/22/22. The Pluto return, which also has to do with power back to the people. And I don't know that I'm going to even talk much about it. You'll just experience it and then you'll know. But I at least am going to tell you tomorrow is that day. The fiat will be backed by gold again. And there will be digital equivalencies that will also be essentially gold backed or silver backed. XRP being the gold, XLM being the silver. And a lot of you will believe it when you see it. So that's what's up. The trucker convoy everybody should try to get those guys to go somewhere else other than DC. Because if you go to DC, you're not in the United States of America. You're in a foreign land. That's why American citizens, political prisoners, are being held in gulags with no due process. People say, how is that possible? Legally, it's not. Unless you're outside of the United States of America. But that little portion of land around DC is a corporation. Yes, it's bankrupt. Yes, it's going to go down. But right now, you can still become a political prisoner. So it's not the best place to go. I wouldn't go there for nothing. You couldn't pay me to go there. There's nothing in that nest of New World Order Satanists and pedos that would get me to go there. And notice, or maybe you haven't noticed, or you will notice, but start noticing how they're trying to normalize pedo-related stuff. And they're trying to make it seem like it's just another letter in the LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ P for pedo. They're trying to make that the next letter in their little list because they want to normalize that, because they know that that is what a lot of them are guilty of. And the spear called Durham is coming, and all the evidence has already been found. They have all the videos. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's a new Hillary snuff film on the dark web that's supposed to be like 100 times worse than Frazzle Drip. So you wouldn't want to watch it. You probably wouldn't even want to hear about what is in the video. It's that horrendous, that disgusting, that inhumane, that diabolical, that wicked, that satanic. Right? So, but it's out there because some of the people that were involved, excuse me, in clearing the dungeons that are under the White House, well, they found many children down there, both dead and alive, and a stockpile of videos. And thankfully, somebody that was involved in that raid leaked one of the videos, and now it's on the dark web. Because it proves what we already know about Hillary. And there's still people that are just... The NPCs are just insufferable at this point. I mean, they cannot get any more brainwashed and out of reality than they are now. So there's two timelines playing out simultaneously. The old third density timeline is continuing to try to exist. And then there's the new 5D timeline that's overlapping it, overtaking it, and ultimately going to overthrow it. And just a quick note on Bible and the end times and all that stuff. The manipulators, as you know, infiltrated everything, including religion, and so they propagated false interpretations of what the end times is. And they made it seem like it's the end of the world, or it's the end of humanity. But what it really is the end of their reign on this earth. The end of what's now, the New World Order. That's what's ending. It's their end, not our end, their end. But they've, seeded this into people's consciousness for decades now. And so people are still brainwashed into thinking that it's the end of humanity and Jesus is going to come swoop everybody up and out of here and away from here. Well, there's no need for any of that, because 5D is going to exist right here on this earth at this time. Tomorrow, Pluto return, a 1 in 248 year event. And it has everything to do with returning power to the people. And the Illuminati, let's just throw in a little bit about them. They put their symbolism and their coded messages everywhere, especially at the Super Bowl, because that's a huge ritual for them. And it's also known as one of the biggest human trafficking days of the year. So while everybody's distracted by men running with leather balls to an end of a field, they're doing a bunch of their stuff, and then they come and really put it in your face with their satanic halftime shows and all this and that. Well, this is, to China, the year of the tiger. And so the Illuminati had, put out their signs and symbols that and I don't follow football and all that, so I don't even know. I think it was the Rams and the Bengals, maybe. I'm not sure, but it's a tiger and something else. And the tiger was supposed to win, but the tiger didn't win. So it went against their whole narrative. So their whole thing that they usually, control and get right, because they are doing this black magic on everybody. Well, it went the other way this time, probably for the first time ever. So it's just more evidence to people that can see beyond at least the first veil, maybe the second, or whatever, starting to pierce the veils to see that old empire is crumbling. And we're winning. I know it doesn't seem like that sometimes. And again, unless you can pierce all the veils, you really don't know all the good news. See, the good news, like I said in the last video, is suppressed. We're censored. You're not allowed to peacefully protest tyrants, or they seize your bank account. So that's pushing a lot of people towards crypto, because it's not as easy to seize your money if it's in crypto. But it's real easy for the corrupt bankers to just turn off your shit. And if you don't, surely you realize you're already on digital currency. Yeah, you can still hold a dollar bill or whatever, but you still, it's all digital. So let's say you had $500,000 in the bank, right? It's digital. So you can go out and spend it and buy things and do this and that, but go to the bank and try to get your $500,000 in fiat currency. You won't be able to do it. You won't be able to do it. They don't have it. And they won't give it to you. Yeah, but I thought, fiat's the best. Cash is king. Yeah, cash is king until you try to go get your cash. So the money's already digital. We're already in a digital system. But that money is centralized. That's why they have the ability to just turn your shit off. Crypto is decentralized, so they don't have the ability to just turn you off. But you'll know more about that as it unfolds. There's so much happening all at one time, and there's so many moving parts to this thing that it's hard to keep up with it. Hard to know what's real, what's true, it's crazy. It's insane. But work on piercing those veils and go as deep as you can, and you will find the truth. It is here. It is available. It is knowable. And it's so diametrically opposed to what is in people's consciousness right now that, yep, they're going to say you're a conspiracy. They're going to repeat all the stuff that the TV has put out. So until you come to terms with the fact that the TV does nothing but lie, has done nothing but lie for your whole life, your entire life, the TV's done nothing but lie. So anything you're holding on to that you think is truth that came from TV, you're going to have to reconcile that and realize you got duped. You got lied to. And there is truth somewhere, but it's not there. It doesn't come from there. And anything you're holding on to that came from there, you're going to have to get rid of because it's holding you back. So anyway, I think that's my rant. Try to think if I think of anything else before we go. Tomorrow's a big day. 2/22/22. Quantum financial system up and running via Starlink. I'll just end it with this. There was two things. There was two simultaneous, which you could say is a reset. There was the cabal's reset, and there's the white hat reset. Okay, we're on the white hat reset. That's the one that's happening. The great reset from the Klaus Schwab cult failed and will continue to fail. And let me just add this in here, that right before they threw the scamdemic on everybody, the psyop, it was all psychological. The whole thing was psychological. Just a little while before that came along, they did a simulation of it. So they already simulated how it was going to go. In other words, they were planning it. They were planning it. And right after, a little while after they did their planning and their simulation, then it came along. But why? Why did they do it? Because they wanted to push their New World Order serum called Vax. Because that's going to, remember, this is a Agenda 21 is a depopulation plan. Also from Davos and the Klaus Schwab cult. And so everybody that got those shots, guess what? You're probably not going to be able to have a baby if you're a woman. And it took out a bunch of old people, and it took out people with comorbidities, etc. So people that say, well, the depopulation plan is not really working, or I don't really see that. Yeah, but you see it. You didn't see all the old people that died? You don't, and you're not going to see it all at once, because women are not going to realize they can't have babies until later when they want to have babies, and they can't. And they're going to remember, oh yeah, I got 3 shots back when the psychological operation was going on, where they faked everybody into being so fearful of a non-existent virus that they got everybody to take these shots that would have future effects. So what are they simulating right now? Oh, the same cult is simulating cyber attacks and financial collapse type craps. So I wonder if that'll be next, because they're planning that. Because they're running the simulations on it. So that must mean they're going to do it, just like they did with the psyop of COVID. But there are countermeasures in place. Starlink, QFS. Here it comes. Here we come. Anyway, love, unity, and light. Don't lose heart. Don't lose faith. We are winning. We will win. Humanity is going to come through this so much better on the other side. It's going to be so much better on the other side. So anyway, I've made some of my paintings into NFTs. That's what you've been looking at here on the screen. If anybody's interested in some cool NFTs. Now, if you go look at NFTs, it's like little kids' world. You get pixelated cartoon characters that are selling for ridiculous amounts of money. Makes no sense to me at all. Right? So I thought, well, at least I'll make some cool paintings into some NFTs and give people an alternative to pixelated cartoon, things that look like they are Cabbage Patch Kids and stuff like this. But the NFT market's kind of a new marketplace. Basically, you're turning either, an image like these, or you could take a little clip of a video, anything basically. And what this means, and what it means to make it into an NFT, is that it puts it on a blockchain so that there's only one, unless you meant, like for instance, I minted 10 each. So there's 10 NFTs of each of these images. And it's on the blockchain. So if you were to purchase one, you would exclusively own that NFT, and it would be verifiable that you owned it on the blockchain, just like a cryptocurrency. When you own a cryptocurrency, it's on the blockchain, and people know that it's you that owns it. So I don't have any prices on my NFTs. People could just bid on it if they want to buy one, and I'll see what their bid is. But it's if you look over here, it's an XLM. So if you want to buy one, you would purchase some XLM cryptocurrency, and then come in here and go around, and you could buy whatever NFT you would want. But again, if you go look at NFTs, well, I'll just show you. Let's go to community. Let's go to community here. Oh. Let's go to, okay, we'll go to Fresh Mints on Explore. Here we go. And I'll show you the difference of, see what I'm saying? I can't imagine anybody for any reason wanting to buy things that look like this. Now see something like this over here, that's pretty cool, but this is digital art. This looks like digital art. Some digital art's, kind of cool, I guess, but there's not a whole lot of actual real art. So I went on Discord. If you're on Discord, you could go on there. And I created a Discord server called Old School Artist. And I'm trying to attract old school artists that turn their art into NFTs. Because I think they're just way cooler than pixelated looking cartoon characters. Again, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And at least if you own one of these, if you buy one of these NFTs, you're owning something that's real in the real world. These paintings, exist in the real world. So you're not just buying some electronic thing that somebody made. So there we go. I'm going to leave you with that one. Out of Business. That's what that painting's called. Out of Business, because they're out of business. Love and light till next time, my beautiful friends and family.